How I manifested first place. This is a success story from before I understood the law. I am reading, listening to Neville's lectures and examining my past manifestations from before I understood the law, trying to apply my learnings like a case study. I thought I would share. When I was a senior in high school, I was the captain of the men's cross-country team. I dedicated myself to the sport for 4 years and saw myself rise from the back of the pack to varsity top 10 through hard work and dedication. I believed in the physical process of improvement as well as the power of God, the Greek Orthodox version of God. I did not believe in manifestation magic or that I was worthy of divine blessings. I wanted to experience winning, but we had 2 state-level champs on my team and it wasn't going to happen. Only one person wins these races and it's always the same guy. So I let go of that desire easily. Towards the end of the season, 1 was awarded admission to my top choice college through early enrollment, and my dedication to cross-country evaporated overnight. The relief of getting into college was enough for me to turn my mind away from the sport. Within a week my coach made an announcement. He was changing up the varsity lineup and I would be running JV in the next race. 4 other varsity boys were included in this as well, so I wasn't singled out. The other boys were pissed and hurt. But not me. I was petrified. This was my chance. I had to win this race. I didn't have a choice. For my desire and for my reputation. I deserved to be captain and I desired to feel victory. I was instantly overwhelmed. The victim mindset was short-lived and it became problem-solving. I knew I could win against the guys on my JV team, but how do I guarantee a win against an unknown lineup? Depending on the size of a town, school, they could have really good runners on JV just due to the varsity limit. Large towns had more kids on the team, more kids to run fast, and just the same number of spots on the varsity roster as my small town. What if we faced that kind of team? I didn't have a choice. I had to let go. For a week I just told myself that I won. I practiced, I slept, I kept to myself and didn't speak about the predicament. I just told myself that I won this race. I never focused on the team drama because of coach's decision. I never cried about it to my mom and dad. I never relived the incident. I lived it once and let it lay dead in the past. And when I thought of the future, I thought about how I won that race. On race day, I came prepared. When the gun went off, I sprinted off like the gates hell and found my rivals. The contenders for a cross-country race are basically determined in the first 30 seconds. Right from the start, the group splits up into little pods based on similar speeds. To win the race, you have to be in that front pod and never let go. Individuals gradually drop out, but no one catches up. So the winner is there from the start. So, whatever speed that pod goes, you go. The one who doesn't give up will win. I found my leading pod. It was myself and 2 boys from the rival team. Just us 3. At the front of the pack, everyone behind us, 3.1 miles ahead of us. The race was 3.1 miles with a wide variety of terrain. Tracks, grassy hills, baseball diamonds, soccer fields, parking lots, sidewalks, wooded trails, narrow forest paths, leafy forest paths, sand pits, mud pits, creeks, all scattered between 7 exhausting hills. And I had home field advantage. I gave up my body for this moment. I threw myself into the moment. I didn't have control of my pace or my body or my breath. I gave myself to God for the chance to win. I ran hard and I ran proud. And throughout the 3.1 miles I saw my other 2 rivals start to slip away even. Though I gave it everything. With less than a mile life, probably 1/2 mile, I climbed the final hill and looked down to see the final leg of the course. I had to run around the baseball diamond, through the soccer fields and find a grassy path covered in trees that would lead me into the track and the final 100-meter sprint of the race to the finish line. And I could see my 2 rivals side by side, exiting the chain-link fence outlining the baseball field, just about finished running the circumference of the baseball field and moving on to the soccer fields before entering the grassy path towards the track finish line. I didn't have a choice. Everyone at the finish line could see all of us and they were watching me now. I could feel them watching. I had to find more speed and even more grit than I ever knew I was capable of. I had to find something more within me, that we never knew existed. I had to become more. And I am charging down this final hill like the beast I have become. I am speeding down this hill and taking the momentum into the baseball diamond as I tell myself that my 3rd mile will be my fastest. I blaze through the chain-link fence around the diamond and charge forth. I enter the soccer fields and my stare is fixed ahead of me on the two boys because they've barely moved. They're going slow. They're going very, very slow. They are just about to finish the soccer fields. They enter the grass path, covered in trees and hidden from sight from me and the spectators. They entered the blackness where no one can see them, where no one has any awareness, where anything can happen. As I finish the soccer fields and enter the covered path, I realize that they haven't exited. They're still in there. One of them was on the ground panting, exhausted, given up. A little over 100 meters from the finish line. The second one was speaking with a French accent and trying to get him composed enough to finish the race. As I sprint by, the French boy tells me to keep going and get that win. I remember turning the corner and exiting the covered path. The dark cover of oaks and maples instantly lifts as you step out of the path and through a gate into the track. The sunlight hits my wet, exhausted body as I leave the cover and approach the track. I hear a massive uproar in cheering and applause. My varsity teammates, the girls' team, my coaches, my parents, my friends' parents are losing their minds as I sprint the final 100 and live those final moments towards victory that I wanted for so very long. For the first time I hear something louder than me. Louder than my panting. Louder than my feet stomping. Louder than my inner voice. I hear the outer world agreeing with my inner world in a loud uproar of applause. I won that race. I did it. I did it without visualizing. I did it without SATs. I did it because I told my mind that there wasn't any other choice. There wasn't another future for me. I told myself that for that one day, for that one race, I would be the fastest. I am the winner. And God delivered through a miracle. A miracle. What miracle? Why did the French boy let me win? His friend was down but he could have finished. I had two opponents but they acted like one. Why did he stop? I spoke to him after the race. It ends up that he was a foreign exchange student and missed too much of the season to be eligible to race per the state policy. He was much better than JV, should have been varsity. He was there to have fun and motivate his team, but he could not place. So he stopped and helped his friend. And when his friend gave up, he told me to take the win, not from him, but his friend. I couldn't believe it. For 3.1 miles I thought I was racing two people but I was only racing one. The whole thing was an illusion. It was circumstances that I wasn't aware of. It was all for me as long as I didn't give up. All of this to say, everything shifts around your beliefs to match what you hold true. Even when your mind deceives you. Even when the world looks wrong. Even when coach puts you on JV. 20 years later, this still holds as one of the sweetest, most satisfying memories of my life. I treasure this experience dearly. Shut out the world. Live towards the end. And never budge in your mind. Even when you have 100 meters left in the race.